You were sold a formula, the most certain, most foolproof mathematical equation of life. Get good grades, get into a good university, get your hands on that magic piece of paper, and in return, step into the comfortable world of the middle class. You'll have a car, a house, 2 vacations a year, and respect. This equation has been disrupted, and irreversibly so. Today, the most educated generation in history has also become the most indebted and economically anxious generation in modern history. University degrees, which used to be the key to wealth and prosperity, have now become a mandatory entry fee. You have to pay just to land a job at a cafe, or avoid getting lost in a pool of thousands of applicants. We'll examine the harsh economic realities behind degree inflation. We'll discuss how education has turned into a ruthless trillion-dollar industry, how companies' hiring algorithms weed you out, and why that piece of paper in the frame hanging on your wall is actually worth far less than you think. There is a fundamental rule of economics. The rarer something is, the more valuable it is. Diamonds are valuable because they are rare. Sand is worthless because it is everywhere. In the 1970s and 1980s, a college degree was like a diamond. Back then, going to college was a tough choice. When you graduated, you brought a very rare skill set to the job market. Companies were snapping you up. That's because your degree sent this signal to employers. This person is smart, disciplined, and capable of learning complex tasks. In economics, we call this signaling theory. But governments and educational institutions saw a massive opportunity here. If a diploma makes people rich, then let's give everyone a diploma and make everyone rich. Sounds great, doesn't it? However, the economy doesn't work with magic wands. It operates by ruthless rules. If you increase supply, you lower value. Just as central banks devalue money and create inflation by printing money out of thin air, the education system has created diploma inflation by churning out millions of new graduates. Now everyone had a diamond. And in a world where everyone has a diamond is no different from a pebble. As enrollment rose, something else happened. Universities ceased to be places of learning and transformed into massive corporations. To attract students, they began spending money on luxury dorms, massive sports complexes, and huge marketing budgets, rather than on the quality of education. Who was going to foot the bill? The 18-year-olds, of course. Here, one of history's greatest financial illusions came into play. Student loans. Banks or governments won't lend 100,000 units to an 18-year-old to start a business because it's too risky. But they'll happily lend the same young person money to earn a psychology or communication degree with no guarantees. Why? Because student debt is non-dischargeable. It won't let you off the hook, even if you go bankrupt. Once students gained access to these massive credit budgets, universities raised tuition fees far beyond the rate of inflation. The result? The return on investment, ROI, has collapsed. In 1980, a student could cover a year's tuition by working at minimum wage during summer break. Today, a young person must work like a slave for years after graduation, barely scraping by on basic necessities, just to pay off their student debt. With so many college graduates in the job market, employers' behavior has changed as well. In economics, we refer to this as credential creep. 20 years ago, entry-level jobs like sales representative, data entry, administrative assistant, or customer service, which previously required only a high school diploma, suddenly began requiring a college degree. Why? Not because the nature of the work had become more difficult, simply because HR, human resources, departments were inundated with applications. Companies use a degree not as a measure of talent, but as a free screening tool. They think, If someone could sit through 4 years of boring lectures in a lecture hall and get that piece of paper, they can obediently carry out the tedious tasks in my office. Today, a college degree doesn't get you a good job. It merely prevents your resume from being immediately discarded by AI systems that sift through thousands of applications per second. This isn't an investment, it's a ransom payment. The economic toll of this system is devastating. This generation, which starts life in debt and with a negative balance, is forced to postpone economic milestones such as getting married, buying a car, owning a home, or having children. Delayed consumption means a slowdown in the overall economy. So what's the solution? The solution is to snap out of the spell cast by that magical piece of paper. An increasing number of global companies, such as Google and Apple, are dropping the requirement for a college degree in their hiring processes, because they too have realized that a degree no longer equates to talent. The winners of the next 10 years won't be those who line up with a generic diploma that everyone has. They will be those who acquire specific skills that artificial intelligence cannot replicate. Those who master a craft, certified technical experts, and those who can continuously update their knowledge. Education is a wonderful thing, but if a system mortgages the most productive years of your youth and your future income with the promise of selling you status, that's not education. It's an economy of exploitation. Be proud of your diploma, yes, but stop believing the lie that it will save you. Because life begins the very second your cap hits the ground, after you toss it into the air. And the market couldn't care less about how much you paid for that diploma.